MyNintendo, the replacement for Club Nintendo. It kind of sucks. Okay, sucks is a strong word. It doesn't necessarily suck, but let's take a look at the history of MyNintendo before we talk about anything about it. Basically, it came out with the release of MyNintendo, which was Nintendo's first ever mobile app. If you don't know what that is, it's because it doesn't exist anymore. Nintendo shut it down recently. This was Nintendo's first foray into mobile games, right after the Wii U's kind of failure. This was towards the tail end, so Nintendo decided that they needed to try some new stuff. And with the release of MyNintendo, he also came out with the sequel to Club Nintendo, MyNintendo. And well, compared to Club Nintendo, it kind of sucks. Club Nintendo, Nintendo's old loyalty program, offered a lot of stuff like exclusive merchandise, games, wallpapers, and phone ringtones just for buying first-party Nintendo games and registering them with Nintendo. And at the end of the year, you could use all of your points or coins to buy stuff, and it was really good. It incentivized you to buy Nintendo games. MyNintendo really doesn't do this. The only thing that MyNintendo had for a while was phone wallpapers, which was really weird. But now, I'm going to get a little bit more in depth on the loyalty aspect of MyNintendo. So, there are two types of currency with MyNintendo: Platinum points and Gold points. Platinum points are really easy to get. You can get them for doing stuff like logging into MyNintendo's website each week, or going through Nintendo websites like the Swish Sports website or the Mario Golf Super Rush website. Pretty easy stuff. But you kind of get sucky rewards for that. For a while, the only things you could get for Platinum points were wallpapers and more wallpapers. For a while, that was really the only worthwhile thing you could get. There were sometimes some cool physical stuff that you could print out, but that was really about it for a while. But luckily, Nintendo has recently buffed the stuff that you can get. You might have heard of the stuff, like with the physical items that you can get, like the Animal Crossing tote bags and all that cool stuff. And you can also enter into giveaways. I don't know why Nintendo just doesn't sell this stuff, but you can enter into giveaways with them. And recently, they even added Platinum points into the Nintendo Switch, where you can make exclusive icons and buy elements for the icons on the Nintendo Switch with your Platinum. So, if you're just new to MyNintendo just because you heard about it on the Nintendo Switch, be thankful you weren't a MyNintendo fan back in 2019 when there was nothing to get with it. So, Gold points. These are actually much harder to get, and for good reason. One gold point actually equates to 1 US cent. So, you can actually use it to buy stuff on the Nintendo Switch eShop, or buy some sucky rewards on MyNintendo, but if you want to do that, be my guest. So, if you buy a $60 game on the Nintendo Switch eShop, you get 300 gold points, which is 5% of what you purchased. See why this kind of sucks sometimes? And trust me, it gets worse for physical games as well. Here I have all 3 of the Xenoblade Chronicles games on Switch. You want to guess how much I got for these? I got $1.80 worth of gold points for these 3 physical games. For some reason, Nintendo actually has it so, if you buy the game physically, you can only get 60 gold points for the purchase, even if it's a full price game. All 3 of these are $60, and I only get 60 cents for buying. Now, I understand why Nintendo does this. If you buy it through the eShop, Nintendo pretty much gets all of the money from the purchase, but if you buy it through somewhere, say like GameStop physically, Nintendo may not be so as apt to, well, give you as many gold points because they're not getting as much money. So, I get it, but even 300 gold points for $60 is crazy. $3 doesn't even pay for much on the Switch anyways. You can't even buy Fall Guys packs for $3. MyNintendo has improved in a lot of ways over the last couple of years, but it's still not perfect. Firstly, they need to offer more stuff you can buy for Platinum points. I mean, the only worthwhile stuff you can get on there are really icons for the Nintendo Switch, giveaways you can enter, and the physical items, but you have to pay shipping to have the items shipped to your house, so kind of negates that. the quality of everything else on there is, well, crap. Here, take a look at 2 wallpapers I bought for 50 platinum points each. The first one is literally just the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 box art. And the second one is literally just a screenshot from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So, overall, besides the 3 things that I mentioned, you can't really buy anything with platinum points, and it doesn't really incentivize you to do any of the platinum points missions, which Nintendo hopes that will get you interested in games like Switch ones. But I'm not really incentivized to do any of that if I can't really buy anything good with it anyway. Secondly, Nintendo needs to increase the amount of gold points you get per purchase. Now, Nintendo wants to move more towards the digital world, and obviously offering more gold points for buying a game digitally is a way that they're trying to incentivize it. But $3 worth of gold points doesn't really incentivize it. As I said earlier, you can't really buy anything on the Nintendo Switch eShop for $3 that's remotely good most of the time. So, they need to double it to 600 gold points or $6 per purchase. Now, Nintendo's already done this before with stuff like pre-orders for games or special offers on games. So why just not make it the norm? Even if you double it to buy a $60 game, someone would still need to buy 10 $60 games just to get a free $60 game. That's still worth it for Nintendo. You only lose out on $60 when you've already gotten $600 from the player in the first place. And you can double it, or maybe even triple it for physical purchases if you want, but I have a feeling Nintendo wouldn't really even do that. But it would be a nice gesture. Overall, MyNintendo isn't a bad service, but it isn't a great service either. And I think part of the reason why that's a thing is because Nintendo really only comes back and improves it like every couple of months, or even every couple of years. I think it could be such a cool thing. It would incentivize more people to buy games digitally, which Nintendo wants, because they get more gold points, or do missions for platinum points where there's literally advertising for the game right in their face to buy cool stuff with platinum points. But Nintendo, at least at the moment, doesn't really seem like they want to really improve it at a consistent rate. So we're kind of just stuck in this weird spot where it's like an okay service, but you see the potential and it could be so much more. But hey, what do you think about MyNintendo? Have you ever heard of it or used it? I'd like to know what your thoughts on it are down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing or liking the video. I would really appreciate it, as it helps the growth of the channel, and I like making these videos. And seeing that you like these videos as well really makes me happy. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. This is Crystalized, signing out.